Well, hello there. It's been a little while. I have been absent for a time, and there has been a reason for that, which we will get into. As you can see, I am now a different colour. I do wish that I had blended some streaks of pink or something into this instead of just doing a single colour. I never do a single colour, but I am quite liking it. I am quite liking it. It's quite different. And I like it. But yes, onwards to the tales. I am going to plug myself into my microphone and make this a bit of a podcasty thing with slightly better sound, so you may wish to plug yourself into your headphones if that is the sort of thing you like to do. But I find it makes me calmer, and I kind of enjoy the recording process more when I'm plugged into earphones, and it's kind of like ASMR for me. Since this is not going to be a dark story time in any way, I don't think. I think it's just going to be a bit of a weird story time, but because it's been a while, I think it might be nice if I do something that just makes it feel a little bit more calm and ASMR-y to me. So I'm going to go underwater now into the strange sounds of the microphone. First of all, can I just show you the sound that fizzy water makes? Can you hear that? I think it's really nice. Fizzy water is something I've discovered recently. I hated it all my life, and suddenly I really, really love it, and I can't get enough of it. And now, give it to the microphone, it makes a nice sound. But yes, so I was actually, today I was going to sit down, I was going to make a big, serious suicide prevention video. That's what I was going to talk about, because I know that myself and friends I know and most of my Aspie people, we are not doing particularly well with lockdown, which is weird, because I specifically remember saying when lockdown started, look, Aspies, we were built for this. We're going to do fine in lockdown. We don't need people. Turns out we really need those fleeting, not very important, but kind of important to us interactions where you go to a club and you don't really speak to anyone but there are people around, or you go to a mall and you don't really speak to anyone but there are people around, you know. Turns out we really need that, I think. And also the lack of structure, the uncertainty. Aspies, we don't do so great with all of that stuff, and that it makes up 2020. So Aspie's not doing so great. Lots of people trying to kill themselves, getting suicidal, things like that. So I was going to make a big serious suicide prevention video, but I felt like I don't think I've got the brain power to leap into that right now. I think it's because of everything that has been going on this summer. I am on a crap load of medication, and the main thing that is doing to me is just making me so stupid in the head. I feel so stupid in the head all the time, and I know that it has to be this way for a while, and eventually it will be better. I have a very good feeling about autumn and October. I mean, maybe that's just being a goth, but I have a very good feeling that by autumn everything is going to be fine. Not with the world, probably, but I have a feeling everything will be fine with me by autumn. Fizzy water is the best thing in the world. See, even in a very dark place. This isn't a very dark place. There's a big ring lamp shining everywhere. But even in a metaphorically dark place, there are lovely sparkly things like new hair and fizzy water. And my fan being on. Sorry about the annoying noise, but it is fucking sweltering today. So yes, this summer and the mental hospital. Yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, which if you want to keep up with me in any way is probably a good idea, because I'm active on Instagram even when I can't brain enough to do anything else. Instagram is the place I am the most active. But if you follow me on Instagram, you will see that I was in hospital, like 2 months ago or something now. That was mostly a physical thing. Had to get rehydrated with some saline, and discovered that kind of ooky thing where before they give you an IV pole and you're like, you have to unhook your bag and just carry it around, and if the bag goes lower than your vein, well, it goes into reverse and your blood starts coming out down the tube into the bag, and it's all bright red, and it completely freaks your mum out, and I'm just like, no mum, it's fine, it's just, it's just going in reverse. You hang it back up, it'll go back into me again. But she was like, oh my God, are you sure we don't need the nurse? But no, so that was mostly a physical thing. But it also coincided with like a mental health clusterfuck. I don't know what came first, whether it was having the flu did something to my brain, or whether I was so mentally ill that it made me physically ill. I don't even know, but that was the beginning of it. And since then, things have kind of come and gone, and I've dealt with mental health issues that I have never dealt with in my life before. But on speaking to a psychologist, like I don't have a diagnosis at the moment for what's going on with me, but according to a psychologist I spoke to recently, it's pretty normal. This was normal. It's pretty normal for, if you have Asperger's, it's pretty normal to basically just go batshit every now and then, because apparently your inner world is so rich. And obviously, being a writer and all of that, my inner world it's quite an outer world as well. You know, I'm always immersed in it. It very much exists for me. My characters are very real to me. My inner world is and when you're in lockdown, there is no outer world anymore, so you retreat further and further into your inner world. And she said, because if you have Asperger's, your inner world is so rich, it is quite common for you to kind of lose yourself in your inner world and just start having weird experiences and weird delusions and things like this. So where this comes in with the mental hospital, this had all kind of worsened. All of this just your inner world just flipping out on you. It had got to the point where I was basically on a trip. Like I was basically on some kind of like LSD trip, except I hadn't taken any drugs. I was just tripping on my own soul, basically, is the way I would put it. And some of it was really beautiful. This is the thing. Some of these whacked out experiences were really beautiful. It was like, the really cool part was when like my brain was trying to take me through my childhood as though it hadn't been traumatic in any way, as though it had been a good childhood. And I found myself, like, I was sitting and I just had some candles lit and it was really peaceful and there were these white candles glowing and I was just like immersed in childhood memories that were so, like, I could smell them, I could taste them, they were all around me, I was right back there. It was this shamanic experience, man. It was weird. And I was right back in my childhood home in Richmond, and there were a lot of weird beliefs and things that I now know to be bollocks associated with this, like it's the reason divorce screws children up is because oftentimes a family, your guardian angels, you have the same guardian angels because they meet you together, and you have the same guardian angels as your parents. So when you split up, the guardian angels are split up, and then the child gets messed up, and so there was like a lot of like wacky belief systems going on at this point too. But I was being led through my childhood experiences. And when it came to the bits of my childhood that were messed up, it was like a new script was being written. So I was reading books that were important to me as a teenager, and I was seeing them in a different way. And it's like I was like having a conversation in my head with a friend who was like a good influence instead of a bad influence about books that were quite damaging to me as a child. And it was really interesting. To me, it was that I keep going back to and thinking that was interesting. But there were memories that weren't my memories that were so real. There were bits where I was going through, I guess it would kind of been like middle school age or something, when you're starting to have puberty and everything's starting to happen to your body, and it's a little bit weird. And for me, in my actual life, that was a really horrible time and a lot of bad things happened. But in this new timeline that my brain was building, my brain was making it a good time, and I was having these these good memories and these good fake experiences that a child of that age should have, and everything, and it was really loving and supportive and amazing. So there was this one day or a couple days, I guess, in all of this that was really beautiful and yeah, this weird shamanic experience. But equally, if you're like in your brain to this degree that you're tripping on your own fucking inner world, like so hard that you can't like stop it or extract it. Like it was literally like an LSD trip that went on for about a week maybe or more, and you're in your inner world, you're doing what your inner world is telling you to do, and that gets quite dangerous. And eventually it did get quite dark, and I have, as honestly anyone who lives in the UK and has a history of mental illness, you know, the NHS mental health support system, it is not there. It's never been there. And under the Tories with austerity, it's not there. Getting help in the UK for mental illness is fucking impossible. It's completely impossible. So we had gone to hospital, we'd gone to A&E again, and we sat there for 5 hours and no one came, and we knew, like, if I wasn't actively suicidal, they weren't going to do anything anyway. They were just going to send me home with a referral to a psychiatrist, which would then take over a year to come through. So there's really, unless you're literally about to kill yourself or someone else, there is no point going to A&E for mental health issues in the UK. So in the end, with all of this going on, I was like, something needs to happen. Like I had enough brain power to know this is some of this is cool, right? Some of this is fascinating, but this shouldn't shouldn't be going on. So I ended up phoning my GP and I was like, look, I've been to A&E twice. Nothing has happened. Things are getting crazier. I need to get some help. And I spoke to someone from the local mental health place, which I am not allowed to mention the name of, because you basically get made to sign an NDA, basically like a non-disclosure agreement, when you check into the hospital. So you can be vague about things, but you can't name things. So anyway, I end up speaking to a dude from this place, and my inner world being like an outer world, an all-encompassing world at this point, it clearly tries to protect me by making me say some really crazy shit. Like, I knew on all levels, subconscious, conscious, I knew on all levels, these people are not going to give me the help I need unless I scare the shit out of them. So I knew it's not going to be enough for me to say I'm a bit suicidal, or like my brain is driving me crazy and I'm doing crazy things. It's not going to be enough for me to say that. So as I'm on the phone to this dude, I get these visuals in my brain and I just start describing them. And so basically what happens is I end up threatening suicide and also murder to the man on the phone. And if you've ever read any of my writing, my book is out. It's always in the description box. It's called The Putrescent Vein. It's on Amazon. If you've read it, you know my brain is quite a gory and gruesome place. So when I'm like getting visuals in my brain and I'm describing what I'm seeing and I'm trying to scare the shit out of a dude to try and get me the help I need, believe me, it's going to be graphic. And clearly it did the job, because we actually got helped. I mean, we got helped to the extent that it was like, if you don't go, if you don't pack up your shit and go to the fucking hospital right now, we're going to send the police round. Which didn't end up happening in the end. It was like, no, it's okay. Yeah, you're a psycho, but we'll send some people around. They think you're a psycho, but they think you can wait till tomorrow morning. They think it's going to be all right. So there were a few appointments, and it turns out if you threaten murder, if you threaten to murder someone in graphic detail, I told you this wasn't going to get dark, and now it's getting quite dark. But I think it's just a sad commentary on how overstretched and underfunded the system is at this point, that you shouldn't have to do this to get help, but you do. However, when you actually get this kind of help, suddenly you're being helped. I had people coming round and visiting me twice a freaking day at my house. I had like teams of people visiting me, talking over things. And if I had crazy beliefs, I wasn't, you know how it is a lot of the time with mental health people, when you're shunted from one person to another and you have to keep explaining the same traumatic shit over and over again. None of that. Like, they knew. They would ask me about tiny little things like, oh, I heard you got a new houseplant yesterday. How's your houseplant doing? And I'm like, I mean, on one hand, this is amazing. On the other hand, where the fuck was this when I was 14? And all of this could have been prevented if things had been good when I was a teenager. So anyway, all of this is going on, but really what is happening is that we are waiting to get a bed at the lunatic asylum. You need to be kept safe, you need to go to the lunatic asylum. However, there were already warning signs regarding the lunatic asylum. There wasn't going to be any therapy provided there. You're going to a mental hospital, but there is no mental health treatment provided. So really, and they begin trying to explain this to me, that, you know, that it's really no different. You know, you're seen once a day, so actually you're seen more when you're at home, and you're seen twice a day by the home treatment team. Whereas in the hospital, you're seen once a day by someone, if you're lucky. But basically, you're just in a hospital to keep you safe. That's all it is. So I'm starting to want to kind of like back away from this whole thing. I'm starting to think, I don't think this is a good idea. But at the same time, I feel like my parents are worried, and I feel like for them, I need to go. Maybe this will be good for me. Maybe this will just kind of like shake me out of it. Maybe being out of my home surroundings will do something miraculous. So eventually things actually seem to be improving, right? Things are feeling better. I'm feeling better. Things are getting better. And then I get a phone call saying a bed is now available. You can go as soon as you're ready. Go to the hospital. You will be admitted. And I'm shitting bricks because I don't like giving up control, and going into a mental hospital is giving up like control of fucking everything. And I'm thinking, like, are they going to give me all of my meds? Some of my meds I don't take as prescribed. Some meds are over the counter and I don't take them as prescribed. I take more than I should. Are they going to give me that? Am I going to get any sleep? What the fuck is going to go on? So I pack up all my shit and we go, and you know, and I'm like, Mom, I don't want to go. And they drop me off, and the visiting, the saving grace of all of this was that I was checking myself involuntarily. And that means, just like the dude in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest before he screwed it all up, if you check yourself involuntarily, you are able to leave voluntarily whenever you like. Thank God. Spoiler alert. So I check myself involuntarily, and because I'm voluntary, I am allowed to come out of the building and have visiting hours with my family any time of the day or night. So this is about 4:00 I get there in the afternoon, and my mum's like, well, what time do you want us to come back? We could come back at like 7. Do you want to come back at 7 after dinner, and we could hang out for a bit and see how it's going? I was like, yes, come back at 7. So I go in and I'm thinking, okay, I can have a bit of normality in a few hours. Okay. And I go in. Fuck me. I have never been in a mental hospital before, which seemed to like startle everyone, to be honest, from like the patients I spoke to the nurses. Like, it was very uncommon to end up in this particular mental hospital with no prior history of being in a mental hospital. And if that's not a warning sign, I don't know what is. Like, basically, you have to have had a lifelong history of being thrown in hospitals to end up in this shithole. So I go in and they take all of my belongings off me. They're like, yeah, we have to search through these. We have to go through this. So they take all my meds off me. They take all my belongings. And I'm in this communal area with all these people. And the first impression is these people are very mad. These people are very, very mad. You know, everyone, pretty much everyone is very blank-eyed, very droolingly over medicated, just not with it at all. There's a couple of younger girls who seem a bit more with it. There's one very anorexic woman pacing laps. She seems quite with it. But most people are, there are no lights on. There are no lights on. These people are just, they're not with it. There's one woman, she's like sobbing and wailing in the corner. It's dark, man. It's like, this is not good. So I'm sitting there for a bit. They've told me to wait there because I don't have a bedroom yet, and they've still got my belongings and everything's going on, and I'm just, and these crazy people are all looking at me, and it's like you've joined a new school, except everyone is psychotic, and and you're worried, are you going to be strip searched? What the fuck? So anyway, eventually they take me back into the room with my belongings, and they ask me some questions and take my vital statistics and things like that. And that was quite nice because I was talking to a sane person. I didn't realise how much I had taken for granted conversation with people who were fucking sane. But when you've been sitting in a communal area surrounded by completely like crazy people wailing, sobbing, pacing, mad, crazy people, and suddenly you're in a room with a person, they're asking you normal questions in a normal voice and everything's normal. Oh, that was nice. It was nice, but at the same time it was like, this is where I'm going to be living. Shortly after that, I am assigned a bedroom. I'm taken to my bedroom and I'm thinking, thank Christ, because they told me you can just hide out in your bedroom. You don't have to be in the communal area. You can just hide out in your bedroom. So they take me to my bedroom, and it turns out that my bedroom is hot and stuffy, and one of the symptoms I'm having with all of this craziness is this burning. It's like, anxiety feelings you get in your chest. It can be like that crushing feeling in your chest. It can be like palpitations in your chest. Well, I'd started getting like burning, like literally like burning at the stake feeling, anxiety, like my whole chest, my whole upper body. It was like I was being burnt at the stake, and being somewhere warm would often kick this off. So my bedroom is like hot and stuffy, and I'm going to feel like I'm burning at the stake in there. And I can't open the window because the window opens onto the smoking area, and I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. And so the bedroom, and it's so sterile in there, lots of flapping going on. It's so sterile in there. It's hard, it's lumpy, it's like prison. And I'm just thinking, I know I can't hack it in this place. I know I can't. So I start asking the nurse. I say, what? You said I could leave whenever I want, right? Can I leave in the middle of the night? Like, if I try and lie down and sleep and it's just, I start burning at the stake and it's like, I can't deal with this. Can I leave in the middle of the night? She said, well, the doctors wouldn't really recommend that. It would be quite hard to get someone to sign you out. So it wouldn't really be recommended. It would be quite difficult. And I was like, well, so do you mean they would keep me here? And she was like, no, they wouldn't keep you here. They can't keep you here, but you might be detained. And I'm thinking, are you fucking serious? What is the difference between keeping me here and detaining me? This is literally prison. At this point, I'm like, nah, man. I'm gonna call my mum. I'm calling my mum. I'm getting out of here. I'm breaking out. This is no fucking good, because I just knew, right now I'm involuntarily, I can leave whenever I want. But if I stay here with this shit that I can't deal with, I'm going to have a massive meltdown. They're going to decide that I'm genuinely crazy. They're going to put me on a section. I'm going to be stuck here. It's going to spiral downwards because there's no therapy. No one actually wants you to get better here. They just want to trap you and over-medicate you, and I can't deal with it here, and this is bad, and I have to get out. So I call my mum, and fortunately my mum is pretty understanding about all of this, and she's coming at 7 o'clock anyway, which turns out to be perfectly well timed, because getting out of this mental hospital turns out to be considerably more complex than they'd led you to believe. It's not just, you know what, actually I don't feel as insane as these people, let me out, and you go, no, because you have to rearrange the help you had before. If you want the home visitors, which I still did, I was still, and no one had treated me or anything. It wasn't like I was better. It was just like, I can't stay here. This is terrible. This was a terrible idea. What the fuck? Is this really what NHS mental hospitals are like? This is not a good environment for anybody. let me out. So obviously I still needed the home visitors and the support and the all of this, but you have to rearrange this for afterwards if you check yourself out, and this takes a while. So while this is going on, I'm like trying to hide out in my bedroom. They've taken all of my cables away from me in case I hang myself with them. They've taken away everything made out of glass, so all of my moisturizer tubs and everything has been taken away in case I smash it and try to kill myself with it. And all my medication is taken away. And at this point, I should have taken my medication when I came in, and I didn't, because I was like, I forgot. It was a little bit early, and I was thinking, well, they'll prescribe it in a minute, surely. So I end up being like 3 fucking hours late to take my methadone, actually. And methadone, if you're on quite a high dose, and I am on quite a high dose at the moment, if you're on quite a high dose, even being like a couple hours late makes you just twitchy and shivery and horrible, particularly if you're already in a shitty situation like this place. So I'm just feeling really, really tense and tetchy and trying to, and the internet is shielded. They don't want you seeing anything triggering on the internet, so I can't even read my own blog because I guess I say fuck too much or something. So I can't read my own blog, and I find that really comforting. Like, my own characters are really comforting to me, and I can't get on that. I can't get on a bunch of sites. There's nothing I can do to unwind. So I end up spending, I don't know how long, just literally pacing up and down the corridor outside my room, which then turned into running up and down the corridor like a psychotic hamster, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down the corridor. You know, I walked in a fairly sane person. I mean, obviously I wasn't really sane, but I was more sane than running up and down a corridor like a psychotic hamster, and this is where I ended up within 3 hours of being in this fucking place. And eventually I get my prescription, I get to take that, and eventually my mum arrives and they let me out of the door, and free air has never felt so good. It was so clammy and so close and so smelly in there. And there was dinner time as well. I witnessed dinner time, and I think I would have starved to death in that place because everything was slop. It was like oily slop. They had pizza, they had vegetables. Everything was slop and seemed to be soaked in oil, and I could see why all of the residents, bar the anorexic, seemed to be morbidly obese, because this was not food that anyone should be eating. It was awful. And I was like, I can't eat that. And I felt so bad for the anorexic woman as well, thinking, you have to recover eating that? Are you serious? That is the most terrifying. Like, I'm recovered and that food is terrifying. And also it looks disgusting. You're not even getting any pleasure from it. Like, that sucks for you. I feel so bad for you being in here. But anyway, yeah, the getting out in the free air and just the cold and thinking I'm going to go home. And I was scared of going home because I had wanted to go to the hospital to feel safer. I didn't feel safe at home. I didn't feel safe around myself, but I felt even more unsafe in that hospital. I just felt like I can't deal with it. My brain's just going to fucking melt in this hospital in every conceivable way. So it's like, you have to go home and look after yourself, and that's scary, but and you realise there's no safety net. Either you realise if I ever do feel suicidal and I want to check myself into a hospital, what do I do? Because I know I can't hack this hospital, and this seems to be my local. What do you do? Quite scary. So, but anyway, I went home and things did get better, and the people continued to visit me, and they were quite nice, and they asked me about my houseplants and all of those sorts of things, and prescribed me my medication and prescribed me a fuckload more medication. So yes, that's why I am a gigantic terminal brain fart, sleeping round about, I would say about 18 hours a day I'm sleeping at the moment, which is insane. But but basically the way I'm looking at it now is it's kind of like an internal hospital. Like, the medication I'm on, it's an internal hospital. Like, you're still in the hospital in that you can't do anything normal. You can't really be productive. You can't really write. I don't know if this video's going okay. I don't know if I'm going to just be like, this is bollocks, let's delete it tomorrow. Who knows? But even getting this far with a video is is feeling quite good. Quite good. Maybe tomorrow I will actually try and make a serious suicide prevention video and feel like I'm actually doing some kind of service to society and being productive in some way. But essentially these meds, you can't live on them. You can't do productive things on them. So you're still basically in the hospital in that you're not living your life. You can't live your life. But you're kept safe because you're just so like shut down that you know you can't, your brain can't go to dangerous places. It can't think those things because it's so stupefied. So it's kind of like an internal hospital, which is better than the hospital for sure. I'm in my own space and it's not stuffy. I get to eat nice food. My mum's been super nice. She's been cooking really nice food every day, so I get really nice food all the time. And I got to dye my hair because I had big horrible roots when I was in the hospital and that was making me depressed, and now I have nice new hair and I have my clothes and all of that, and I can shop online and things are quite good, and I can talk to you guys and I can do this and I can try and get better at doing this and try and actually make actual subject-oriented videos at some point in the near future, and I've managed to do a bit of writing, and so things are getting a bit better. But yeah, I really look forward to eventually tapering off these meds. But the really stupid thing at the moment when it comes to the NHS and mental health care and all of this, like, I have so much help right now. These people are still visiting me. Well, they've cut down now. I told them to cut down. I was like, yeah, things are getting better. You don't need to be coming around all the time. It's okay. So people are visiting me less, but there's no therapy, right? There are people, they visit you and they chat to you, but they're not therapists and it's not therapy, and there is no therapy available at all, basically. And to be put on a waiting list for all of that is probably still the same waiting list that, honestly, I think I'm already on it. I think I've been on it for 3 years or more. Waiting for therapy, and it doesn't happen. So we're trying to go the private route with that, which private psychiatry and psychology is expensive. So I'm hoping I can just be like, see them for a bit of a diagnosis and assessment, and then get through to like private therapists who are less expensive and are affordable. Just about. So I have an appointment tomorrow to chat with a local psychologist privately, expensively, because the NHS is not forthcoming, and the NHS are coming round tomorrow to talk about medication and potentially to put me on even more medication, which I don't think I want, and I don't think even they're gonna want at this point. I think things are improving. And I think sticking me on even more sedatives when I'm sleeping 18 hours a day, I don't think that's really conducive to anything. But I am trying to be a good human being and sit down and do what I'm told and not be so combative about therapy. That's been one of the things that this whole thing, like I say, it's been like tripping on my own soul. It's been like a huge hallucinogenic trip on my own soul, and there's been a lot of thinking about things I've done in the past, and a lot of like negative stuff, a lot of guilt about certain things that honestly I don't need to be guilty about, and certain things that, like, it's okay, you have free will, you can do something that is morally dubious if you think it's okay. You don't have to be fucking perfect, you know. So there's been a lot of that. What the fuck was I saying? Yeah, no, what I was saying was one of the things that came up in all of this thinking and all of this soul searching and this tripping on my own soul. One thing I did think about was how combative I've always been in therapy, that it's because I like debating so much. I like debating, I like words, I like arguing, basically, and therapy can turn into that for me, that it turns into like a battle of wills and a battle of words, and it's like outsmarting them, and I'm not trying to do that, but that's what I end up doing because, I don't know, I enjoy it, I guess, and that's just such a big part of me. So I am trying to be less combative with therapists and listen to other people's opinions when it comes to medication, that like, yes, okay, I am pretty educated about meds, and I do think you should have a say about meds as a patient with mental health issues. If they're going to stick you on an antidepressant and you're not depressed and you've had bad experiences with antidepressants before, I think you have a right to be dubious about that and to say no. But equally, if they really push it with me and they're like, really try this, see how it goes, then I will try and sit down and be a good human being and eat my fucking vegetables being pills at this point. Anyway, this is now 41 minutes long, but you basically know what's been going on with me. I've been tripping on my own soul and going insane like most of the Aspies in the world seem to be at the moment, so sympathies if you're in the same boat, and if you've had any weird interesting experiences with that, tell me about them. But yeah, so I was in the mental hospital for 4 hours. 4 hours. I was in the mental hospital, so it's true, I was there, but I was there for 4 hours. That was all I could hack. Yeah, I'm a pussy. But I mean, people I've spoken to since then about this place have been like, yeah, you don't belong there. Like, that place is extreme. That place is really like the last resort kind of place. It's not somewhere you want to be. But it just blows my mind that they don't do therapy. Like, how are you ever expected to get out of there and get better if it's just they just lock you up and basically you're going to lie. Eventually you're going to lie. You're just going to learn to rein everything in and lie and get out of there, even if it means you can just go home and safely like effectively kill yourself because you just can't take it anymore. It's not... So I feel really divided about the NHS mental health at the moment. Like, I feel it's amazing how much they've stepped up and started visiting me and stuff since I threatened to murder someone. It shouldn't have taken me coming up with this crazy crap to get help, but it's good that help exists. It needs to exist for more people. It has been really good help, but then the hospital was so like, the people in there, you could feel the sadness and the hopelessness just clinging to you. And there was one girl in there who was really nice, and who introduced herself to me outside my room, and she was like, oh, it's okay on this ward, you'll be okay here, like, and she was really friendly. So I hope she's doing okay wherever she is. I hope she's out by now and doing okay. I think she probably will be. She seemed quite nice. You could see this kind of like blankness of medication behind her eyes, but she seemed nice and with it, and I don't think she belonged there either. So I hope she's doing okay. But seriously, like, if you've seen something like Girl Interrupted and you think, oh, the mental hospital, oh, it's going to be full of all these like amazing, like really weird, wacky young characters, and it's going to be kind of like some kind of like crazy like college dorm experience. No, it's not. It's sad. It's sad, broken down people. A lot of whom, if you're like over 18, you're going to be with the adults, and most of them in the place I was in, they're like end stage mental patients. You know, they're middle-aged, very broken down physically and mentally, very, very hopeless, and people have stopped even giving them therapy. They've just locked them up and thrown away the key, and that was how it felt there, and it was so horrible and hopeless. And I don't get how there isn't like a middle ground. I don't get how I wasn't put in some kind of middle ground where it's like, yeah, there's therapy here, we're trying to help you here. That doesn't exist in the UK, it seems like, for adults, or not in my area anyway. And it's so I have really mixed feelings about NHS mental health at the moment. But we shall see. Will they ever present me with a therapist, you know, or is it just we're just gonna like medicate you into a coma and hope you eventually sort it out yourself? I don't know. But actually, if I think about it, it was only about 20 days ago that I was completely functional, wearing makeup, making a video, completely fine. It was only about a week ago, literally, that I was in the hospital, and things are so much better than they were then. So things are improving quite quickly, actually. And like I say, I have very good feelings about October. About autumn. I feel like by autumn things are going to be all sorts of good. That's how I feel. And I've through all of this, I've made quite an unlikely friend in Portugal. One of you guys I've been video chatting with and stuff online. online video chatting through a wall, video chatting online with one of you guys in Portugal, and we've been talking about a lot of stuff relating to this, and she's been really helpful and amazing, and it's lovely. It's nice to have a new friend, so that's really cool. So it's interesting, you know, in shitty times you do really learn who your friends are, and you know, with my like real life friends as well on Facebook, when you actually open up and you talk about what's going on with you realise, oh wow, there are actually people who genuinely do give a big shit about me, which is surprising to me, because I don't expect people to. I don't expect people to give any kind of shit about me, really, beyond like, oh, we like your videos and stuff, but actually like real life friendships, I don't expect people to give a shit. So it's nice when they do. So I don't know, shit times you find a new friends, and you find old friends, and things can be quite good. Anyway, this is forever long now, and my mouth is dry as a motherfucker, so I'm going to shut up and go away. But lots of people were saying they missed my waffles, so here is a huge waffle, which I hope wasn't too dark for you. It didn't feel particularly dark to me. It's just been, this has been what's going on, and you know, I'm pretty open about about what goes on in my life. I don't really keep secrets about stuff. I mean, at this point I've told the internet so many things about me and my past. There's not really much point me hiding things, I feel like. So so this is what I've been doing this summer, going mad, going into a crazy house, and coming out 4 hours later saying, I can't deal with the crazy people, they're crazier than me. This is there's still levels of crazy that I haven't plumbed yet, and I'm not ready for them. And yes, and then I changed my hair, and now I feel quite jolly, and I do like it. I do like it. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you and well done, and I'm going to shut up now. And thank you to everyone who's kind of wished me well and wondered about me over the time that I've been silent. It's meant a lot, seriously. So thank you for being wonderful, and thank you for being patient as well when I've been silent. I've probably not been silent for as long as I feel like I have. Like, say, like my perception of time is really warped at the moment. Everything seems so slow. But anyway, you guys are awesome, and I also want to thank the YouTubers out there who've been making videos and making content and making things that have cheered me up too. And thank you for your nice comments, people who've said that I cheer you up. And I hope this video is not going to bring you down, and is also going to be fairly cheerful. I feel like it's not super dark. There's dark moments, but it's not super dark, and things are getting better. And I hope that they're doing okay for you too. If you're one of my Aspie people out there who are struggling with lockdown and all of that, it's going to be a long road, but I'm crocheting and knitting a lot, and that's making me very happy. But anyway, this is forever long now, so I can't talk about the things that make me happy. Maybe that will be another video. And I've been suggested I should give you guys a tour around my cupboard of Beepal Doom, which is over there, and show you some perfume and things. That might be a cheerful video to make. So there will be more cheerful content coming, as well as the kind of big serious. This is some of the ways that you can hopefully not top yourself if you're feeling a bit shit, because that's a video that I feel is very important to make. But anyway, I think somebody is shouting at me for my dinner now, so I'm going to go away. Bye bye.